Okay, so in some random scary day in like 2023, I was at an occasional restaurant we would frequently eat from. It was me, my mom, and my dad. It was a really hot day, like a really hot day, and you guys know how much I hate bees. So I was terrified of eating outside, and I begged my parents to let me eat inside, and they refused. And then they chose to eat outside anyway, which turned into a big mistake that I accidentally predicted. Between 15 and 30 minutes later, after we ordered, waited for our food, and started eating, some random guy dressed like Jimmy, I'm serious about this, approaches us. And I'm kidding you not, he dressed exactly like him. To be more specific, he was pale. He was wearing a pink crop top, but the crop top was longer than usual, so I can only safely assume he cut his own shirt. And it exposed his belly button and had really pink spiky hair, which I think was a mohawk or resembled to be one. And yeah, I'm serious. And he was also really skinny, like really skinny to the point I could see his whole rib cage. From where I live, this kind of style is common, but if I didn't know who Jimmy Urine was, it wouldn't have drawn my attention, to be quite frank. He was walking from across the street and he went up to us out of butt fuck nowhere, but he specifically turned to my mom. Mind you, we were outside behind a restaurant and my mom was sitting right next to me on the right and my dad was sitting across from me next to my mom on the left. I'm gonna make it clear that, just to avoid any confusion, so this story makes sense, that my mom is overweight and my dad is bipolar type 1 and is professionally diagnosed. He points at my mom and says, "What is that?" Which is so bonkers to me, because if you've never seen an overweight person before, then cool, but no need to be so mean about it. I honestly thought he was pointing at our food because we had that at the table, and I thought maybe he recognized some food that he hadn't seen before, and he just wanted to buy it. We didn't have that much, so it was just an appetizer. He pointed at my mom and repeats himself again. "What the fuck is that?" With a more disgusted tone. My dad stands up and starts looking at the guy. And the guy is looking at him back, and my dad is like, "What?" The guy looks at my mom again and says, "What is that? That fat bitch," which is so crazy to me. Hello? Just that sentence alone causes my dad to pick up a chair without thinking and just throws at the guy. And I think he left a pretty bad injury to him. Now, this was the first couple of years when I was living with my dad, and I never seen him so angry before around that time. Because mind you, my dad has bipolar type 1. It makes him take medication that really mellows him out. I think it was either last year or in late 2023 was when he was diagnosed with the disorder. So don't quote me on that. But honestly, before then, he also had really bad anger issues. He still does. I also went up to the guy and I kicked him in the leg, like really hard. I'd say I kicked him like in the lower part of his leg. He starts backing away and this caused us to break out into a fight in the middle of the street. So now it's me and my dad pulling a 2v1 up in this bitch, just ganging up against this weirdo. For some reason, he didn't try to fight me back, but he tried to fight my dad. I also remember shaking from extreme adrenaline due to how stressful the situation was altogether. This was also very common for me whenever I got into fights back then, which was, the adrenaline shaking wasn't common. It didn't happen like usually all the time, to say the least. I was feeling between worried and anxious, worried for my mom and anxious on how to approach the situation and or how to deal with the situation entirely, and what my next move should be or what the guy might do next. Because when I aimed to kick his leg, I saw a taser, and he never tried to use it against us, which is so weird. Probably because it was me and thought, "Oh, that's a kid." After this happened, this guy ran away and a manager came out, apologized to us, and called the police. Even described what he looked like to them. If I remember correctly, she gave us a discount. 10 minutes after he ran, the police came and drove around the whole area in the city but couldn't find him. I honestly think he got on a train or something and just left, because there's a lot of train stations and there's a train station at the restaurant. After we paid and left, I think I did see him walk away as we were driving, and I was so keen to having this man caught that when I was sitting at the back of the car, I stared back at the window to look for him in the middle of the car, looking at the side windows of the car too. And all the time I was holding onto the handlebars of the car. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for listening, and bye.